Hi, this is Bob Rakes with highlights of issue 117 of the 8K Association Monitor newsletter. Big news just before we went to press was that China Media Group, which supports 8K broadcasting in China, has confirmed that it will be covering the Milano Cortina 2026 Winter Olympic Games with 8K. Details were not yet clear, but this follows up the company's 8K capture and distribution at the 2022 Winter Olympics and its work with the IOC in Paris in 2024. The broadcaster sent outside broadcast vans to capture 8K content in Paris and acted as the main video provider for several sports. The 8K was downscaled to 4K for some consumers. China has a project called 100 Cities and 1,000 Screens to roll out larger public displays up to 8K round the country. Researchers from the US and Pavel Actel of Actel Cameras published a paper at the SID Display Week that showed that when high-quality content is used, viewers really can perceive a difference between 4K and 8K video. Researchers found that the effect can be content dependent, as some content really doesn't have the high-frequency visual data that can be distinguished. This backs up the comments from our NAB panel when Warner Brothers explained that their archiving process allows both 4K and 8K scanning. Some movies benefit from 8K, which costs more, while others don't. The paper highlights the need for appropriate content to be used for research. We summarised the paper. We published an article that looked at work done in Japan and currently on display in Tokyo to show treasured, valuable and delicate cultural artefacts using high-resolution cameras, 3D modelling and 8K displays. As well as allowing the artefacts to be examined without the potential for damage or wear, the use of high-bandwidth connections can allow researchers around the world to share the experience of viewing them. This can lead to new insights and more informed research. The project we reported on is based on art at the Horyuji Temple and the Kuze Cannon sculpture, which dates from the 7th century. NHK of Japan, an 8K pioneer, collaborated on this project. At the SID's Display Week Expo, scientists from the Semiconductor Energy Lab, a renowned research institute in Japan, showed a really impressive 8K OLED display with just an 8.3-inch diagonal. The display used some very advanced backplane technology based on annealed oxides that allow very high-quality transistors to be created even on large diagonal displays. Up to now, the best quality LTPS transistors could only be made on smaller substrates, so costs could not be driven down. The development suggests that the transistors could be smaller and better, which is good news for both LCD and OLED 8K displays. I had a quick rant this month about the poor marketing practices of the display industry in effectively communicating how good its products are to consumers. The display industry often gives little real impression of the true value of better products. After all, a 65-inch TV is more than 4 times bigger in area terms than a 32-inch, but we use a number that's only just over double. I've made this point before, over decades, and little changes, but as the saying goes, hope springs eternal. This is Bob Rakes with highlights of issues 117 of the 8K Association Monitor newsletter.